Bishop Dale C. Bronner.
Sometimes God has to let a dare come to you, a challenge come to your life, to provoke you, to stir you up. Somebody has to use a little reverse psychology on you sometimes. We use with children and say, I bet you can't do so-and-so. And somebody say, I bet I can. And the person never would have attempted it unless somebody dared them that they couldn't do it. I bet you won't pull your clothes off and jump in the swimming pool. And the next thing you know, because somebody dared them to do it. Now, had nobody ever given a dare, the person never would have jumped in the pool. But because somebody issued a dare. There's something that's very interesting that I've shared before. You know, I carry with me at different times this little thing here in my pocket. This is an oyster. You know the way that an oyster works. It's found in the sea. And what generally happens is that some kind of irritant enters into the oyster's shell, something like a grain of sand, and it becomes an irritant to the oyster. That irritant to the oyster actually causes it to secrete a hormone. It is that hormone that is secreted that ultimately ends up forming the pearl. But you'll never have any pearls in your life until you have some aggravators. Are you listening? Now, you see, this is a real oyster. Listen, there's a pearl inside. It's a real oyster, and a real pearl is on the inside. And the only way that this pearl was formed is because something entered into it that irritated it and caused it to secrete the hormone. There's some stuff in you that you will never produce until somebody makes you mad. Somebody has to make you almost ashamed of yourself. Somebody has to make you defiant where you said, I can do that too. You'll never have something to be able to show around your neck or to wear on your ears or on your fingers or wherever you want to wear your pearls until somebody provokes you. But when you get provoked, just realize that underneath all of that provocation, God will work something out for your good. And what started out as something terribly uncomfortable and something terribly painful in your life becomes a gem that is precious to you and valuable. And sometimes the greatest worth and value that your life will ever produce will be produced because somebody told you no. It was when a brilliant man was working in his laboratory, and all of a sudden they cut his gas off, that it made him actually discover how to have an alternative to that. And he became the founder of General Electric and said, I'm going to be a competitor to those gas people, because they put his important experiment in the dark. Have you ever been working on something and somebody pulled a switch on what you were doing and it provoked you? It should have provoked you to create something of worth and value that would make you better than what you were before. And there are certain things that your system will never produce. You'll never get your pearl until you get irritated. The only reason that you are not the person that you could be is because you don't dare to be it. But once you dare, once you stop drifting with the crowd and face life courageously, life will take on a new significance, because new forces begin to shake within you. You begin to release something on the inside of you, to desire something permanent in life, to develop your gifts to their largest potential. That's your dare. That's your dare. Don't be afraid to take a risk. There's no need to be afraid to take a risk. I love something that an unknown author said. He said to laugh is to risk appearing a fool. To weep is to risk appearing sentimental. To reach out to another is to risk involvement. To expose feelings is to risk rejection. To place your dream before the crowd is to risk ridicule. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To go forward in the face of overwhelming odds is to risk failure. But risks must be taken, because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, is nothing. The more you give your life away, the more that a richer life comes back to you. The people who have the richest lives are those who give their life away. Jesus has a name above every other name because he gave his life away. Now let me say this to you. Our most valuable possessions, hear me carefully. I really want you to hear this. Touch your ears and say, Lord, help me to hear this truth. Your most valuable possessions are those possessions that do not lessen when you share them. Like love. When you love somebody, it doesn't really take anything away from you. They have not diminished you as a person when you love somebody. If you share your joy and make somebody laugh, that doesn't take anything away from you. You have simply multiplied your joy because it has been given away. Your peace. I'm a real peaceful person. I have an ability to help people calm down who are stressed out and freaking out over situations in life. And the disciples sometimes would say, grace and peace be multiplied to you. When you give it to someone else, you multiply it, but you don't diminish yours. I have never wound up sad because I made somebody else happy. It has never made me feel terrible. You know, whatever parents do for their children at Christmas time, wouldn't it be something if the parents sat around after they gave the children gifts and the children's faces are filled with excitement and joy, and then the parent is sitting over in the corner crying, saying, dog, do you know how much all that stuff cost me? Jesus. You can share your faith. And when you share your faith with another, it does not diminish the faith that you have. It actually strengthens your faith. The more your faith is shared, the more it is strengthened. Some people, the reason that they have weak faith is because they never share it. Faith must be exercised. You must share it. You must share faith. Now, I'm just talking about your most valuable possessions are the ones that you can share without lessening or diminishing them in your own life. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I share my knowledge with you, guess what? I'm not getting dumber by sharing my knowledge with you. I'm reinforcing the information in my own life. So you can share your knowledge and it will never decrease. You can share your wisdom and it doesn't cause your wisdom to decrease. It means that God will trust you with more. You can share your advice. It's not going to mean that you're going to be without advice. It means that you will have more to give. You can share something as simple as a smile without it ever diminishing you. You share a smile with somebody, you smile and the world smiles with you. You can give somebody a hug, but when they give it to you, they were not made any less. I mean, the arms didn't fall off. They gave you something and it never diminished them. You can share your testimony and your testimony will never be diminished because you shared it. I'm here to tell you that the most valuable possessions that you have are the ones that are not diminished when you share them. And your least valuable possessions are the ones when you share them that are diminished. When you give somebody a house, then you've got one less house. You give somebody land, that's how much less you have. Clothes, money, food, jewelry, cars, whatever it is. When you have tangible things and give that to someone, yes, you've had a decline here. You've diminished here. But you see, Houses and cars and land and clothes and jewelry, those are not your most valuable possession. Your most valuable possessions, having the peace of God in your mind so you have a clear conscience and you can sleep at night. What good does it do to have a car out in the garage that you can't pay for, that's keeping you up all night and it's robbed you of your peace? Your most valuable possessions are those when shared are not diminished. And your least valuable possessions are those when shared actually diminish. Did you know that when your appetite has a sharp edge that you tend to enjoy your meals better? I mean, if you're really full and somebody says, oh, just taste this, I want you to just taste a little bit of it, you don't have an appetite for it because your appetite is not sharp. So you have to sometimes starve a little bit to put some adventure in your life. You know what adventure means? Adventure means living to the full. Living to the full. There are some who are freedom-loving pleasure seekers who maintain that drifting along with life is happiness. They maintain that resistance is vulgar and that self-indulgence is really self-expression. But that's a bunch of baloney. Let me tell you this. The line of least resistance makes crooked rivers and crooked men. The line of least resistance. Did you know that each fish that battles its way upstream is worth 10 that loaf around in lazy bays? Yes, it's true that the mass of people prefer the easy way because old ways require no effort. Physically or mentally lazy people don't want to adjust themselves. They don't want to change. But they have never tasted the thrill of victory. If you ever taste victory, you will get so bored with a life sitting in the comfort zone. If you jump out of the bed in the morning full of fight, daring people or daring circumstances to depress you, you're on the road to victory. If you face problems aggressively, guess what? They are already half solved. If you aspire to larger responsibilities, guess what? They'll meet you halfway. But too many people live their life based on fear. The fear of failure, the fear of losing their job, the fear of never getting married, the fear of coming up short. But remember that courage is not doing things in the absence of fear, it's doing it right in the presence of fear. It says that I'm going to do this, I don't care what happens, I am going to do it anyhow. And so remember that fear is temporary, regret is permanent. But it's time for you to take a dare. But in order for you to take a dare, you know what you have to do? You got to knock out fear. Hit your hand and say, knock out fear. You have to knock out fear so that you'll take a dare, because every dare has something in it that challenges you, that says that this could be dangerous, this could be scary, you could get caught, you could go to jail, this could happen, that could happen, you could hurt yourself and wind up in the hospital. There's always something dangerous. There's a risk involved with every dare. If there's not a risk involved in it, it's not a dare. But I want you to abbreviate what I want to call a TKO. You have to knock fear out. But remember, fear is temporary. So all you need is a TKO. You know what a TKO is? A temporary knockout. But that's not the way I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it as an acrostic. Is that okay? And so we'll take it, the T is for time. The T is for time. Realize that everything requires time. Everything requires time. Give it time. Give it time. Give it time. Just give it time. Everything requires time. Just give it time. Remember the school children? They were out playing. You remember the folks doing the double Dutch jump roping? And they'd get in, another person get in, another little girl get in there, she's just showing off, and they got these double ropes going in there. And another little girl was standing there, and the other girl had been in there too long. And she's waiting. And she starts mealy-mouthing and complaining and telling the people Hurry up, it's my turn. She's been in there too long. And the girl finally got out. She couldn't wait because she said, it's my turn. And she jumped in. It was her turn, but it wasn't her time. She got tangled in the ropes. You see, because when those ropes are going, you got to pace yourself. And not only wait for your turn, but you got to wait for your time. So you got to pace the timing. You got these things moving in your life. Yeah, I know it's your turn, but it may not be your time. You got to always understand your time so that you can calibrate yourself, because when it's time to get in the rope and the person who gets out of it, they pace themselves until they skip out and jump out, and the ropes keep on turning. They don't stop the ropes to let you get in. The ropes keep on turning, and there are things in the rhythm, the cadence of this life. It moves with a metronomic kind of precision that is constantly going, ebbs and flows, and you have to wait for the cycles and the seasons of God to actually move into your life. Your time is coming. There's nothing more powerful in all of the world than an idea whose time has come. And there's something that you're frustrated because you're saying, it's my turn, it's my turn. My other classmate got married, and this one got married, and that one got married, and I'm better looking than this one. And you will be frustrated because it's your turn, and you're not even understanding the being able to be a son of Issachar and read and be discerners of the signs of the time. You got to understand your timing. If you're going to be able to give fear a black eye and dare, you got to know when to leap into the water. There's sometimes it is suicide to leap when the rivers are frozen. To leap, you've got to always know your season and know your time. Understand your time. The K is knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. There's something that you need to know. There's something you need to know. Don't take a risk if you don't have any knowledge. Don't take a risk with no knowledge. Please don't make Christians look stupid by divorcing your mind. Love God with all of your heart, your mind. Touch your mind. Say, I need you, baby. Say, don't leave me now. Say, don't leave me now. Don't leave. Touch. Put both hands. Say, stay right there. Gather the facts. I've seen people leap into business and they didn't gather the facts. They didn't get the information. They didn't study what they wanted to do. They didn't know their market. They hadn't done the research. And so they didn't have enough knowledge. They failed for a lack of knowledge. There's something that they didn't know. Gather your knowledge. Get your timing, T, timing, K, knowledge, O, opportunity. You got to wait for an opportunity to present itself. The opportunity of a lifetime is only available during the lifetime of the opportunities. But remember this, that opportunities multiply as they are seized. Let me say that again. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Don't turn down an opportunity to serve in one area because you're waiting on this other thing. No. Seize the opportunities for right now. If you're faithful in that which is least, God will make you ruler in that which is much. There must be an opportunity. There must be an opportunity. Now, you ready to take the dare? Now, here's the dare. You know it's an acronym, don't you? Here's the D. The D is discipline. You will never be able to accomplish certain things if you don't have discipline. Discipline is nothing more than delaying personal gratification. It is delaying personal gratification. Discipline, it is needs over wants. Needs over want. I know I need to work out, but I want to sleep. Needs over want. A plan. The D is dare. A is a plan. You need a plan. You need discipline. You need a plan. You need a plan. This is your strategy. How will you approach it? You need a plan. There are people that have an idea, but they don't have a plan. A plan is a strategy. Things will fail without a plan. You have to have a plan. How are you going to do this? You need to know, how shall these things be? Now, you don't need to know it if God is going to do all the work. But there are very few things that God will do independent of mankind. There's a God part and there's a man part. So you have to have a plan. Discipline, a plan. The R is a role model. A role model. Find a mentor. Read my lips. Find a mentor, living or dead, who lived a righteous resolve. Find a mentor who lived a righteous resolve. You wonder, how can I be mentored by somebody dead? Read their biography. Read their autobiography. Find a mentor. You need a role model. You need a role model. You need discipline. You need a plan. You need a role model. Here's the E. It's real simple. Energy. I know people who have plans, but they don't have the energy to do it. Dare to take the challenge. What is this challenge? Dare to express your creative audacity. Dare to express it. Dare to travel and see the world. When you see the world, guess what happens? You get exposed. It's exposure. It's called exposure. And exposure creates desire. And desire creates pursuit. And pursuit creates prevail. Dare to lose your extra weight. Oh, God. Now remember, you're going to need time, knowledge, opportunity, discipline, a plan, a role model, energy. Dare to be more healthy. Think about the fact that everything that you put in your mouth either builds health or creates disease. Are you listening? Dare to be more healthy. Dare to volunteer and to serve others. Dare to go back to school and finish. Dare to make better grades. Dare to get a graduate degree. Dare to learn a new skill or trade. Dare to raise up a godly family. Dare to reconcile your marriage. Dare to start a thriving business. Dare to publish your book. Dare to run for public office. Dare to ask a girl out that you've been admiring for a long time. Dare to sing your song. Dare to perform your dance. Dare to open up your daycare, a lawn service, a computer consulting service, a web design service, a law firm, an accounting office. Dare to do something that you've never done before. Dare to live your dream, and you will discover that the world makes way for the man or the woman who knows where he or she is going. You give your life away, and a richer life will come back to you. I pray in the name of Jesus that you just have something that becomes provoked in you, that you will no longer live in mediocrity and be satisfied to live with just enough to get by, to have dreams and ambitions locked in your bosom. But it is time now to begin to live audaciously, to walk on the edge a little bit, to stand back and to say, God, I need to understand your timing, dear God. I need your knowledge, for where there's a lack of knowledge, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. God, give me an opportunity. And when you begin to say, God, now I have the discipline, I'm working on the discipline, I declare to you in the name of Jesus, you cannot conquer any sin in your life until you get discipline in your body. You got to discipline your mind, discipline your spirit, and you got to be able to have a plan. How am I going to do this thing? You got to have a role model. Has anybody else done this thing? God, if you did it for them, you can do it for me. They were discouraged. I'm discouraged. Did they ever overcome that? Yes, they overcame it. You need a real role model of somebody that failed, somebody that messed up and got back up. You need a role model of somebody that had decided to quit. I don't know anybody who's ever done anything significantly with any amount of real success that never contemplated quitting, that just stopped. There have been times when I told my wife, I'm not going to church today. I'm just not going to church today. You will be surprised that there are some people that if you knew their story, you would get encouraged. You need a role model that'll be real with you and transparent with you, that won't just act like they were prayed up and some Superman and Superwoman in faith, never dealt with discouragement. You need somebody that's going to get real with you. Somebody that knows how to tell you that, baby, people will walk out of your life, relationships will abandon you, but somebody that will be truthful and tell you that, yeah, they left me, they walked out, and I cried, and I was lonely by myself, but then I trusted in him, and I realized that nobody was coming to rescue me, and God strengthened my legs, and I began to walk myself. And today you need somebody that will be honest with you, and they'll be a role model to you. And you need an energy where God has empowered you by his own Spirit. He said, go and tarry in Jerusalem until you be endued with power to rise up and live your dream. Power to say, I will not let discouragement hold me down. Power to say, I'm not going to live in mediocrity, not another day. Poverty to say, I'm not going to be a mealy-mouther. I'm not going to be a complainer. I'm going to rise up and do something about it. I dare you to get mad over the complacency of your life. I dare you to stop waiting on the government to bail you out. Baby, a bailout is not coming out. Jesus will lift you up out of the dunghill. He's able. When you gird up your minds, the loins of your mind, I declare to you, I dare you to rise up from the place where you are and become more than you've ever been all of the days of your life. I dare you to love again. I dare you to trust again. I dare you to ask God to help you to raise your children. I dare you to reconcile your marriage. I dare you to not give up on prayer. I dare you to believe God to see your children delivered. I dare you to build your own business, to write your books, to write your songs, to publish your music. I dare you to be an example to somebody. I dare you to open up your heart and mentor somebody. I dare you to go with the gospel and tell somebody about Jesus the Christ. I dare you to live holy. I dare you to overcome the sin that does so easily beset you. I dare you. I dare you to get out of the place where you are.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Until next time, God bless you.